Alright, welcome back, hot dogs and donuts. Y'all already know what time it is. 8 a.m. on a Saturday, aka Super Saturday. So, if y'all new, lock in, roll up, we getting ready to go. What they say, hang on, lady, we going for a ride. Let me see what this looking like. Zoom it out, get the full screen in there. Boom. Y'all already know we got some videos to review. We wake up and do super content, Dragon Ball content, beyond Super Saturdays, right? Shouts out to the big homie Unrelenting Gaming over on his primary YouTube channel. Y'all know we like to review his stuff and any other fan made or any Dragon Ball content that I find interesting. It'll be in my video Saturday. So, if you like to wake up, watch cartoons, and talk Dragon Ball, go ahead and get you a Buy Me a Coffee membership because that'll be like important coming up soon. I ain't gonna tell y'all why, but if you know, you know.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Tyler and we are back with another Dragon Ball What If video, and today I've decided to bring you a brand new What If. I know you guys don't like me starting new What Ifs because you guys think I'll never get done. Don't worry, let me worry about that. However, I still really did want to.
If your primary audience doesn't expect you to finish something, that means you've had a history of not finishing stuff. That's the exact reason why I never wanted to originally do that, what if Goku had a system? Because if the series ain't already been completed, I don't even want to start reviewing it because you never know when the next episode is going to come out, right? And one thing we don't like to do is wait on slow people that's got our attention. So that's the worst thing ever. You get a show you like to watch and then they're not consistently dropping. So you know how that be, because then your ass will be sitting here bored waiting on them to put in work when they felt like they didn't already put in enough work. So now they just chilling. We've got a miscommunication there, Bucko.
Release this What If because I feel like it would be very interesting, and I feel like I was a little bit motivated by this from Carthu's Dojo What If Future Gohan Survived. So I want to put some respect on Future Vegeta's name. Credits to Nasif9000 for making this Future Vegeta art. I decided to use this art, but I'm not going to use it without giving credit to this man, because god damn, this Future Vegeta art is hella sick and hella cool. Be sure to go check out his DeviantArt page in the description below. Currently in the Discord, we are having a debate tournament, and the winner gets the silver rank. And if you guys want to spectate those debates, be sure to join the Discord. We also do what if discussions and live debates, and that's where you'll be able to catch me. So without further ado, let's get right into the What If video. We start our story off with the androids in a nearby city near Capsule Corp causing chaos and killing everyone, killing innocents, robbing stores, etc., etc. The Z-Fighters would eventually catch all the power levels dropping, or sense all the power levels dropping, and they would immediately go and investigate. Basically, Vegeta gives no fucks and goes Super Saiyan and fires a Big Bang attack on the city, engulfing the city with an explosion. When the smoke clears, you see no one except for a blonde girl and a black-haired boy. It's androids 17 and 18, and they survived the Big Bang attack with little to no difficulty. Vegeta would then fly down and he would say, "So you are the ones causing all the chaos." The androids would then be a little bit sarcastic with him. Android 17 would reply with, "Well, says the one who destroyed the entire city." Vegeta would then say, "You don't get to question the Prince of All Saiyans' actions." He would then go Super Saiyan and is ready to face up against Android 17. Android 18 would then say, "This one bothers me, I'll deal with him." However, Piccolo then flies down and he says to Vegeta, "You get the black-haired one, I'll get the blonde one." Vegeta vs 17 would begin along with Android 18 vs Piccolo. I believe 18 vs Piccolo and Vegeta vs 17 would end very shortly, with 17 and 18 dominating the both of them. 17 would knock Vegeta through a wall and is ready to finish him off until Krillin and Tien interfere with Vegeta vs 17, along with Yamcha and Gohan interfering with Android 18 vs Piccolo. Both of the androids would get sent flying into a building. However, this attack does nothing but piss off the androids, and the androids are basically just going to kill everyone now. They start off by blasting a hole through Yamcha, then blasting a hole through Tien, and then both of them blasting Krillin in the eyes. And then Chaozu basically tries to use his self-destruct move, but it doesn't work. Then the androids both fire a beam at Gohan, but Piccolo intervenes, sacrificing himself. As the blast hits Piccolo and Piccolo falls to the ground, Gohan is trying to make sure Piccolo's alright, see if there's a pulse. His pulse, it's fading away fast, and Piccolo then says, "Gohan, don't worry about me. Run." As Gohan flies away from the city, Android 18 is ready to chase after him, however is stopped by Android 17. "Bro, what are you doing? You're letting him escape." "Relax, he's so much weaker than us, he's irrelevant. And plus, every time he comes back for more, we could just play around with him like a punching bag. It'll be fun, come on, sis." Android 18 would then reply with, I guess you're right." The androids would then fly off to go cause chaos somewhere else. When Vegeta wakes up, he realizes that he lost the fight against Android 17 and quickly powers up into a Super Saiyan and screams out, "Let's go round 2, robot!" Until he realizes that the androids are long gone. He would then check by the nearby city that he basically destroyed and went to go investigate to see what happened when he was knocked out. He would immediately recognize the bodies on the floor, that being the Z Fighters. However, none of them are even alive. Vegeta is sat there and distraught. He believes that this is his fault, that the only reason why they couldn't beat the androids is because he wasn't strong enough. Vegeta knows that he was basically the strongest person on Earth after Goku's passing. So why didn't he get even stronger? Why didn't he push himself even further? He was too weak, and because of that, he couldn't save everyone. When Vegeta heads back to Capsule Corp, he would encounter Gohan and Bulma at the dinner table. Gohan is shocked to see Vegeta, and Vegeta is shocked to see Gohan. "Vegeta, I thought you were dead." "Oh, thank God at least one of you are alive." "I'm sorry, Gohan. I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough." Vegeta then falls to the ground with tears in his eyes. Gohan and Bulma would immediately rush to his aid. "Vegeta, it wasn't your fault. These androids are just too strong." "God damn it, if only Kakarot were here, he would know what to do." Gohan would then look up in the sky.
Now, see, this guy sucks as a narrator because he done said if only Kakarot were here. No, sir, Bob. This nigga Vegeta's been Vegeta since he's been Vegeta. So therefore, he wouldn't be like, well, damn, Goku's dead. So now what do I do? Nah. He's gonna do what Vegeta always does. I'm gonna go get in the lab, get a buffer, because every time Vegeta loses a fight, he gets the Zenkai, which I don't understand how the Zenkais would work against the androids, because technically, how the Zenkais usually work is after you get beat, you get a percentage of your power increase. So sometimes it could be even doubled. So it's weird. Like, the stronger the person was, the stronger you become after you got beat by them. So, like, usually it bridges gaps, but it depends on what level Frieza was using. Because you'll start catching up to his level, but Frieza always had more power he was holding back. So that's why the Zenkais officially weren't all the way working against Frieza, because, okay, well, you only got a Zenkai to whatever power level I was using. I'm not using full 100% on y'all and letting y'all get healed and come back. So that was the cheat code there, right? Shout out to the cheat codes, because you got to know how to utilize the cheat codes when you fight.
And you would say, "Vegeta, I don't even think Dad would be able to help us with this problem. But either way, he can't. We're on our own now.
But in this situation, it's actually good because now with Vegeta being there, he can actually train Gohan to go Super Saiyan, and then that'll be the same effect of Gohan on training with Goku. Because then he'll be like, this run's got a high power level, and you could probably knock these two androids out within 2 or 3 years versus the main storyline where everybody grew up fucked up because Gohan grew up fucked up because everybody got killed, and then Trunks was being raised. Oh, there's some gas today. Hey, shout out to that. But anyways,
6 months later, Bulma and Vegeta would actually head to Chi-Chi's house, basically trying to convince her to take Gohan and bring him to Capsule Corp because it is a lot safer and has more supplies and he'll survive, he'll be okay. And Chi-Chi is still fighting back, but then Gohan then tells Chi-Chi that it's probably the best for him, and that gives him more time to train with Vegeta, which gives him more of an opportunity to finish off the androids. We then have a time skip that cuts to age 780, where Trunks is a teenager, Gohan's an adult, and Vegeta is a lot older, and he has a scar. Gohan and Vegeta are Super Saiyans, however Trunks is still trying to unlock it. A news report would go off that West City is currently being attacked by a teenage boy and a teenage girl. It's Android 7.
see, he done ran off 13 years in the future just so Gohan becomes older. Nope. See, this is where they suck, because the one good thing about Akira Toriyama, with him being Master Troll would have made it to where Vegeta and Gohan lock in. Mr. Popo hits him up into the damn hyperbolic time chamber so they can get stronger, defeat these motherfuckers, go to Namek, because you know they need some Dragon Balls in this piece because Piccolo did. So you know what time it is.
17 and 18 on the offensive. Gohan looks at Vegeta and he says, "So we're out to West City?" Vegeta then said,
Oh, the point of this live, for anybody new, is I wake up and watch Dragon Ball Super content on Saturdays. So if you want to enjoy it with me, you can. But if you don't comprehend or understand, go sit in the corner at the kitty table. You dig?
"You know it." The three of them would then head to West City and they would encounter the androids.
That's the point
17
of
would
this
currently be
live and
killing
all the
some
lives
cops,
about
and he would
playlists
see
if you look.
Vegeta, and he would say, "Whoa, look, it's Scarman! Back for another round?" Gohan would then power up into a Super Saiyan.
And like I said, see, this is why I don't like this guy's what if, because he done made it take Vegeta 13 years just to beat the androids when all it took was one good year of training for him to be way beyond them. You see what I'm saying? One locked in, focused year of training is all it took for Vegeta to surpass his nemesis of the androids, and then he was over here fucking up second form Cell, not just first form, who was a little bit stronger than 17, and then boom, you go second form, so he's got the power of 17. So you know how that goes. What's the purpose of this live? I'm not some bum that just watches content and don't expect to get paid for it. That's the point of the live. Shout out to your monetization coaching. Get you some over there at the Buy Me a Coffee.
He says, "Trunks, stay close." Android 18 would then hover down right behind Gohan, blasting him in the face, sending him through a building. She then says, "Ooh, that was an easy sneak attack." "Oh, hello, little boy." Trunks, after witnessing 18 blast Gohan, he's paralyzed in fear. Vegeta would then go Super Saiyan and kick 18 to the side of a building. And when Gohan recovers, he would then tell Gohan to take down 18 as he takes down 17. The battle would begin, and it would end up kind of like how Gohan and Trunks fought 17 and 18 at the carnival. However, there is one major difference. Instead of Gohan and Trunks getting bodied, it's Gohan, Trunks, and Vegeta. When Gohan wakes up, he realizes that he only has one arm. Vegeta would wake up and he would be the one with the senzu beans, rather than Gohan having the senzu beans like in the original. He would then split the senzu bean and give it to Gohan and future Trunks. Future Gohan is refusing the bean, but Vegeta then yells at him and is saying, "Just take the goddamn bean." After Gohan and Trunks eat their bean, Vegeta would carry Trunks on his back and would fly out back to Capsule Corp. Now, I believe a lot of scenarios happen like in the original. What happens is, since Vegeta didn't eat a senzu bean, it takes a lot longer for him to recover, and so he wouldn't be able to go out and battle, which would mean future Gohan and future Trunks would usually be going out running on errands. And I believe this would lead up to future Gohan wanting to fight the androids, and with Trunks wanting to accompany him, future Gohan would knock out Trunks, he would fight the androids, and he would still die. With this happening, Trunks would still go Super Saiyan after witnessing Gohan's death, and when he arrives back home at Capsule Corp, Vegeta and Bulma are curious on where he ran off to and where's future Gohan. Trunks would then explain the story, and Vegeta is completely shocked. Vegeta and Gohan were the only sole survivors, and one of those sole survivors just perished. Vegeta always felt like a father to Gohan that
Damn, see, he done killed Gohan off again. See, sorry, Gohan. This the guy is not writing you to be Riz Han. I ought to put you with some Riz on. I ought to put some respect on your name, Gohan. That's why I said with you being trained by Vegeta, this is a completely different story. Them motherfuckers would have got knocked out as soon as they would have knocked out some serious training, because Vegeta would have been like, "What? We got to get you Super Saiyan," because then that combined with your already anger boost. Rage boost. Yeah, hold on. Let me just hit play because I'm choked up right quick.
that Gohan never really had because he never got to really connect with his dad, you know? And he felt like he filled in that role. And he's just gone, just like that. They had such a good relationship with each other. And that relationship is just gone now because
Now, see, that part makes no sense because you're saying Trunks had a better relationship with Gohan than Vegeta. Yeah, somebody slapped this guy. He's trolling too hard. I mean, this is the funny thing about the fan-made mangas because, like I said, most people don't get Toriyama's writing style. So whenever they try to do their own what-ifs, they usually make no damn sense, which is why we like to tell people that, you know what I'm saying, when I wake up, I'm trying to talk about some shit that I like. Hell, but I'll destroy anything I don't.
Gohan's gone. Vegeta is completely devastated by this news, and he would give Trunks a hug, telling him that it's gonna be alright, as he's basically holding back his tears. We would then cut to 3 years later. Bulma is currently building up her time machine, and an android report would go off on the news talking about these androids are back at it again, destroying cities and causing chaos. Vegeta and Trunks would then head out to the city, ready to fight.
See, the first time skip was 13 years. Now it's another 3 years. Nigga, it's been 20 years fighting androids. Come on now. See. This guy doesn't know how to write a story because he thinks that he has time for the story to develop itself. Ain't no story developed itself. If Vegeta ain't even hit Super Saiyan 2 after damn near 20 years, this guy's just like, he forgot what actually happens in the story type shit, trying to what if his ass through here.
Android 17 and 18 again, and just like how future Trunks tried to fight him by himself, it does not work out, and they are barely alive.
Thanks for reminding me. I forgot to start the Rumble video. See, y'all be letting me fuck up. But since I am a G, we'll start that video now. Anyways. Yeah, welcome back, Rumble. It's your boy Spider Pig, back with another Super Saturday. Somebody forgot to tell me to hit record on Rumble side, so I'm a little bit late. Yeah, so y'all, we ain't missed the meat and potatoes of the video, but you done heard this guy get, you know, his review process so far. So go to the YouTube if you're on Rumble. If you're on go to the YouTube if you're on Rumble. Go to Rumble if you're on YouTube. You see what it says? So y'all can watch the studio quality versus this quality. Back to it. Commercials. Shout out to
After
that
Trunks
big
and Vegeta
homie.
take that
Appreciate you for
massive
getting
L
up
against
with
the
us.
androids again, they would receive.
Seeing you up shooting them things last night, boy. Hey, he said, hey, the kids out there with the fireworks. I'm right here on the front porch making sure they safe. Appreciate that part of the game. Hey, you know, he a real one because he came in and hit that thumbs up. Bars, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we the best YouTube channels. If not, The haters just gonna be haters anyways. You know, we gotta keep them employed full time over here. No stops on our side.
Hospitality from Capsule Corp, and they would get all healed up within just about like 2 days. Bulma would then say out of Vegeta and Trunks, Trunks should be the one to head to the past because Vegeta is the stronger one and he could keep them defended rather than Trunks, and Trunks could be the one going to the past and we have the stronger one to defend our base. Vegeta would then say even if both of us were here, the androids would still destroy us and we wouldn't be able to defend anything. Trunks would also say, I feel like I might screw up the timeline, Mom, and I kind of don't want to go to the past. And Bulma would then say, fine, you big crybaby. Vegeta would be the one to go.
Nah, leave Trump.
When Vegeta arrives to the past, he would sense 2 huge power levels, that being Mecha Frieza and King Cold. Basically, Mecha Frieza is out here flexing out his power and is waiting for Goku or someone to challenge him. Vegeta would then walk up to Mecha Frieza and King Cold. Vegeta, as he's walking up to Frieza and King Cold slowly, he would then say, long time no see, Frieza. Vegeta, you've come to challenge me? Oh ho ho ho, this should be a fun one. What happened to you? What's with that scar on your face and your armor? It's all weird. I guess the Prince of All Saiyans finally grew up, huh? Vegeta would then look at Frieza and he says, I don't go by that name no more. He would then transform into a Super Saiyan. Everyone is shocked at this mysterious figure and his power. Long story short, after future Vegeta kills King Cold and Mecha Frieza, he would then reveal himself to the present day group. When the mysterious figure reveals himself to be someone who looks like Vegeta, everyone is kind of surprised by this. Present day Vegeta begins to interrogate future Vegeta, basically saying, who are you? Are you another version of me? Are you a clone? Who are you? Future Vegeta would then,
are you stronger than me? You know that's Vegeta's problem.
take a calm approach and say, I'm not you. I don't know who this Vegeta fellow is. My name is Salad. Future Vegeta is actually playing it off to be kind of a good lie, but present Vegeta doesn't buy it. But for now, he'll just act like he buys it, and he says, okay, whatever you say. When Goku arrives and says hello to everyone, future Vegeta would demand for a private conversation with him. Goku would then accept, and him and Vegeta would go off somewhere in the distance. Future Vegeta would explain everything about him dying to the heart virus and how he actually married Bulma and now they have a kid. Yeah, accidentally, don't tell them. And Goku tries to keep the secret like in the original, because I feel like him keeping the secret was kind of funny. And when Vegeta demands for a match against Goku, it's actually a long-lasting match. It's not like when Future Trunks basically swung his sword and Goku just caught it. No, Future Vegeta would actually be trying to spar with Goku, because he hasn't sparred with him or even fought him in years. However, the fight would end rather shortly, and Future Vegeta would head back to his time, promising he'll return in 3 years. What will happen when future Vegeta realizes he's fucked everything up even worse? Well, find out in part 2 on What If Vegeta Survived. Now, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more future content. Be sure to join the Discord and go check out the DeviantArt page for future Vegeta. That guy's an awesome legend. Anyways, guys, peace out. Bye.
Huh, that is some nice Vegeta artwork, though. Appreciate that part of the game, right?
Clip from the World Tournament. After that, we were introduced to some Fist of the North Star bandits that got lost and found their way to Dragon Ball. Now, this one introduces something interesting. If you know anything about Sun Wukong, the character Goku is based on, you know he has 3 iconic tools. Goku has 2 of the 3 tools, but Toriyama never introduced the 3rd, that tool being the sealing gourd. Here, it has the power to seal someone if they don't answer when their name is called. After being sealed, they're turned into a liquid that if someone drinks, they can steal the sealed person's power. Kinda OP, huh? Luckily, Goku is able to avoid being converted with the power pole, and turns the gourd on its owners. Goku lets the villagers keep the gourd. Shame he couldn't keep it, as this is filler. But it's not really his style to use something like that anyway. The bandits are no match for Goku, but assuming they've been using the gourd for a while, they're probably pretty strong. So, let's give them 67 and 73. Now...
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the domino, and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now, although with this entire situation within Universe 11 having to now rest on the shoulders of its most powerful warriors, if they hope to survive in being able to see tomorrow, it would appear as though Jiren is now tasked with facing his greatest and most tragic nightmares to date, which I can only hope that he is strong-minded and strong-willed enough to see this nightmare through out there until the very end.
So as y'all see, that says Elite Demon Kodos versus Jiren Finale Ultra Instinct Unleashed, a long and troubling nightmare relived. But let's see what happened last time. Jiren was fighting this demon, so now it's finna get good because Jiren gonna have to kick some ass. Put that name on your notepad and cross it off type shit. Shouts out to Kill Bill, because Bill got killed.
As our story now continues, following the initial battle involving Universe 11, with Pride Trooper Belmont now shown having to face off against one of the elite demons known as Gamu, as Jiren was left off and having to face the elite demon Kodos by himself, to which it was only just upon with Belmont now shown having to engage against Gamu before having to send him flying off directly towards Topos, when Belmont went on to then quickly respond. I find it quite interesting that you go and call yourselves a legion, which implies that of structure, strength, and formation, but from where I stand, all I see is a withering mess of overgrown parasites who are simply latching onto the cracks of the multiverse in order to go and prove themselves to their grand supreme overlord. But tell me something, do they just so happen to assign ranks based on the amount of drool volume in the demon realm, or do they simply go off and having to base your ranks off of your failure rates? Belmont questions. Because if you are truly supposed to be one of their many elite ranking fighters, then your ruling master Raijin, along with the Dark Masters, ought to really go and start reconsidering permanent retirement here. But I have an idea, Belmont continues. And so now why don't we go and try this? And so hurry now, Topo. For what do you say that we go and show our little demon elite here on just why exactly we are regarded as being one of the most dangerously powerful universes within the entire multiverse itself? But whatever you do, do make sure to go and bring him back to me immediately, with Topo responding, right. And so now let us go and do exactly that, Topo shouts upon being shown having to unleash a gigantic Hakai blast behind Galmu, for we will never go and take the knee and having to bow our heads before such monsters, even if what they say about their leaders is to be true, and having it result in our very destruction. And so now be gone, with Belmont having to then respond, good, yes, just like that. And even though it has indeed been a very long time since I had gone along and having to fight alongside the Pride Troopers and having to be one of its original members myself, why don't we go and give these demons a little reminder here on exactly why we are not to go and be messed with when it comes to invading our world. And since you demons have a tendency in having to completely disregard the rules and the laws that are each set in place for every single one of these 12 universes within the multiverse itself, I can only go on to promise that because you love to break the rules, this will only go and hurt for just a moment before it is all over, and so don't worry, demon. But now let's just see on how tough you so-called elite demons truly are when faced with the task of having to overthrow a sitting god of destruction. Belmont continues upon now being shown having to toss his Hakai cards directly at Galmu. And while I may have misled you into believing that the pain was only going to be but a temporary one, well, I lied. And truthfully, and I don't really think that it would have mattered whether I did or not, because the outcome of your existence, along with your purpose here, was ultimately going to end the same, regardless of the pain that you had gone as far as to go and endure. And so now, good riddance, Belmont says upon now being shown having to completely Hakai Galmu. And as this ought to go and show you creatures on what will go and happen to you if you think that you could just go and come into my universe and expect to go and get away with the chaos that you have went and had caused here, with Topo responding, good, that's the way, Lord Belmont. And with Jiren left to go and handle what is rightfully owed to him in the meantime, Topo says, let us go and continue to eliminate what's left of these foul creatures before we are to fully go and redirect our attention right back at Jiren and seeing where their battle goes from there. But then, it was only within these very moments now from across the battlefield as the elite demon Kodos was then shown having to use his full power and having to go after Jiren was when Kodos then went on to quickly respond, still carrying your master's teachings on your shoulders after all these years since his death like some kind of a sacred burden now, are you? Well, it would seem as though his teachings don't appear to be helping you out here in this fight against me, because not only is my strength equally as powerful as your own, Kodos says, but in case you haven't realized it by now, but you are being driven back more and more, which doesn't look good for you, because just like it was when you had failed to go and stop me from wiping out your entire clan alongside that wretched Master Gichin of yours, you are going to fail in having to stop me once again, and deep down, that desire and desperate conviction within your eyes that you fight so very hard to avenge will ultimately drive both you and your entire group of Pride Troopers into the grave, Jiren. And as I had tried warning you that my power was not to go and be challenged, and since you had went and decided to go and seek revenge in attempting to go and destroy me for slaughtering those weaklings whom you often referred to as your family, for if they had all still been alive to this very day, then I would have went and had forced you to watch me go and destroy them all once again, and that right there is the greatest difference between us, Pride Trooper. And so while as impressive as you may have been in showing me on how much you have truly grown throughout these years, you are still nothing more than a weakling when staring into the face of my great and unbound demonic power, with Jiren responding, you foolish demon, for there is far more to the depths of my boundless power that you could never possibly go on to imagine for there to go and be, and so if you don't believe me, Jiren continues, then I am about to go and have you...
That boy said, man, he been throwing them hands, They always go with a long intro and warm up. See, that's one thing I do like about Vegeta whenever he's not going to sell the bag, as in, you know, be fighting the main bad guy and then let the bad guy win type shit. But nah, when he's actually going to kill somebody, Vegeta actually puts in that work immediately. He's not playing about that shit. But then, you know, Kira Toriyama, he's a troll. So then he trolls Vegeta because he doesn't like him. So, I mean, when the author of the story doesn't like a character, he trolls the shit out of him. So anybody that say Vegeta ain't a goat, hey, you must not know. The guy who was writing the story didn't like Vegeta. So that's why he kept hoeing his ass. Because he was like, man, let me check the Prince of All Saiyans. That's why he gave him a fucked up hairline. Because he didn't like the character. So he was like, okay, it's somebody I don't like. That's how you did him. He made him look bad the whole damn time. Although he was carrying the show. But it is what it is. You do what you do. You live and you learn, right?
What a joke, Kodos quickly quickly responds upon being shown having to blast Jiren with a point-blank blast. And as if I truly care about whether or not there is something more to your power that meets the eye here is utterly useless within my cause, and so since you appear to miss your loved ones this badly, then how is about you go and join them, Jiren? And so now don't try to fight it and just let it all go and sink into your very soul, so that way you may finally go and be with your loved ones once again within the afterlife. Wait, but what's this? Why am I sensing his power suddenly vanish without a trace out there, Kodos questions? For he couldn't have found a way to possibly go and escape me now, did he? Well, it doesn't matter, cause even if he did, there will be no corner of this entire universe that Jiren will be able to go and hide within that I won't be able to find. But then, it was only shockingly enough now from within these very moments, as Ultra Instinct Jiren had gone as far as to make his presence known by having to go as far as to strike Kodos, was when Jiren then went on to quickly respond. And that is where you are wrong, because unlike how it was before, and unlike how you reigned supreme for so many years with no other means in having any other mortal warrior rival your power at the time, you are gravely mistaken if you think that the outcome of what is about to go and take place here between us is going to result in having this battle end within your favor, Jiren says. And as the first of your biggest mistakes was allowing for someone like me to go and get away and having me grow into the man that stands before you, but on top of this, Jiren continues his onslaught by responding, your second biggest mistake was being and having you be foolish enough by coming back into Universe 11 in thinking that I wasn't going to be ready for you, while also having to now go and show you that I too am able to now carry a power that goes far beyond the gods in wielding Ultra Instinct. For I swear on the very souls of all of those whom you've mercilessly destroyed, Jiren continues, that I will stop at nothing in breaking you down piece by piece until you have gotten everything that you already had coming now for a very long time, Kodos. As you are now staring into a power that you cannot possibly begin to comprehend, much less overcome in battle here when facing me, Jiren continues. And now that you are looking into the very eyes of the man whom you've once tried to go and tear...
Hey, that boy straight bloop, 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 bing, bow, boop, pow. Type of shit he on, you wouldn't understand, boy. He said this Ultra Instinct. You might have been crushing shit before, but you know, I done did something that you wasn't even ready for, because the people that came to get you last time couldn't even did this. So, hey, shouts out to that. He said, I'm making Belmont look shitty over here, because I was already stronger than him. Now I got UI. So, you know, he trying to catch up to Goku, but you know what we got coming up. We got Super Saiyan, not just fur, we got Super Saiyan 5, which is gonna be what? Ultra Mastered and Mini Azaru, because that's what they gonna start calling it. They ain't gonna start calling it 4 and 5. They gonna cut it off at 4, because we'll see what Toriataro likes to call that shit, because you know well, we do got that announcement Monday. Shouts out to that.
Down all those years ago, there will be nothing that you can possibly hope for that will go and put an end to what I am now, Demon, with Kodos responding, but just how are you able to go and acquire a power like this? For this shouldn't have been possible for someone as weak as yourself to go and have you achieve, and so how could this possibly be? For how are you able to go and do this, mortal? But then, it was only as Jiren's onslaught had continued by having to be shown throwing Kodos across the field before Kodos was shown then having to make his way directly towards Ultra Instinct Jiren, was when Jiren then went on to quickly continue, as you are a complete and utter disgrace, a pathetic excuse for a so-called warrior, as the very delusion that you seem to pride yourself within, Jiren says, is ultimately going to be shattered, and it's going to be shattered by none other than me, Demon. To which, as Kodos was then shown dashing directly towards Jiren, was when Kodos then went on to quickly respond, curse you, Pride Trooper, for you aren't going to go and beat me that easily, because there is no scenario that could possibly exist where you will go and stand victorious over me, and you know it. For I am going to go and tear your limbs apart the second that I am able to go and...
I mean, as strong as we already know this guy is, you just seeing this panel right over here. Here, I got you. We'll zoom in so we can show you what we talk about. Shouts out to the highlights, the replay. There you go, close up for you. Hopefully, you got you a screenshot. Hey, if not, hell, why are y'all even watching? Hell, y'all supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. If I would be watching, well, this is why I got my own replay time for me, so I can go ahead and get these screenshots because I know what to do with it. Hey, shouts out to the frames though. Look at these clean ass manga panels though.
Grab hold of you as I am done playing these little games of ours here, Jiren, and so this ends now. Well, go and try as you'd like, Jiren quickly counters by responding, because in the end, you are going to go and pay dearly for everything that you had went and did to me, demon, as I just want for you to go and understand something as clearly as I could make it, for you aren't just fighting a mere mortal from the past here, but you are rather facing the wrath of the very soul that was forged within the fires of agony, solitude, and discipline, which you yourself had went as far as to go and leave behind, Jiren shouts. Because while you did what you could and while you tried to ruin me when I was left without anyone to ever go and turn to, Jiren continues upon being shown having to continue his onslaught against Kodos. Did you really think that this wasn't going to be something that would ultimately come back to haunt you, demon? Well, does it? Because maybe now you can see that I have not only grown stronger through the pain that you have inflicted, but I have also gone as far as to transcend the gods themselves. And as I have faced off against both gods and mortals alike, and despite with every challenge, every victory, and every defeat that came along the way, Jiren continues, I had went and made sure to never go and allow for any of it to go and change or break me ever again, demon. And as you could never hope to go and do what you had went and did once to me before, because just in case if you haven't went and realized it by now, but we here within Universe 11 are not as simple to overcome as you and your legion assume for us to be. Because no amount of planning and no amount of warriors that you go and bring into our world will ever be truly enough to go and break our foundation, no matter how hard you and your army of followers go and try to do so, Jiren continues. And with your confidence beginning to crack and with your movements becoming slower and slower with each passing second, understand that this was all because of you, demon. And even though you had went on to go and take everything away from me, at the same time, Jiren continues, you had inadvertently also gave me purpose as well. And now that I stand before you and wielding a power that no mere demon could ever dream of having to go and wield, and I am going to go and break you just as you had once broken me, Jiren says. As now that you are finally starting to see it firsthand for yourself, I can see that look when I glance into your very soul that deep down you're afraid. And rightfully so, because you should be, demon, as I can see that you are trapped within the filth of your own ego, in hoping that your cruelty alone will go and save you as it once did. But now that you are fully able to go and experience the very monster which you have went and had created through your actions a very long time ago, you can't touch me even if you tried, Kodos. And so how about it? So much for that weak little boy that you had assumed was long gone by now, isn't that right? Well, you should have ended my life the very moment you had went and ended the lives of my parents, master, and my clan, because you could never go on to understand on how long I had waited for this very moment here between us, demon. So now tell me, do you still believe that you can win, or is the truth behind your inevitable destruction finally starting to settle in, demon? Is the weight of your failure along with your pride finally getting the better of you? Because if this is the best that your so-called demonic power is capable of, Jiren continues, then you are in far greater trouble here against me than you can possibly come to even realize, Demon. And it isn't even close between us.
Up and at 'em,
here
nice
you
and
went
early,
had
right?
called yourself the
Super
harbinger of
Saturdays and
darkness
this
when in fact all
motherfucker.
you ever truly were was but a footnote within the legacy of my resolve and the target that I have been searching for a very long time now, Demon. And just like you, who had once taken everything away from me when I was weak, so comes the day where I will now go and take everything away from you now that I am strong, Kodos. As now that you can go and see the true extent of my full power, you could never hope to possibly match me no matter how hard it is that you try, Demon. Wait, just hold on now, just to listen to me, Kodos says, for it doesn't have to go and be this way. And as I was the one who had went and forged you into the warrior that you currently are, Jiren, because if
boy, I'm
it
your
were not for
master's
me,
master.
then
People that were greater than you was gonna get you killed, so I had to make you a beast.
Understand this,
Quit lying, little buddy. You done got
so just think about
X
how
off
much
of this.
stronger
Look,
you
look.
could ultimately become
It
if
done
you
made
go
Jiren
and
go
take
to
this
color.
moment to let me go before I can go and offer you so much
I
more
love
than
that
what you
about
could
this
ever
manga.
go
It'd
and
be
dream
like
of
black and
becoming.
white, then
If you
when shit
simply
going
go and
down,
take this
he'll
moment
just
to
throw the
let
color
me
in there
go,
for you.
because think about it. For what would you become and who would you be without me, Jiren? With Jiren responding, well, you're right about one thing here, Demon, and that is the fact that you are still indeed, without a shadow of a doubt, the primary one who was responsible in having to shape me into the mighty warrior that stands here before you. However, going and letting you go after everything it was that you did in nearly breaking both my mind and my body would be the greatest possible mistake that I could ever come in having to go and make, as it is because of this very pain that you had went and brought down upon me. It is hereby my exact reasoning on why I could never let you go, Demon, for you should have ended my life when you had the chance all those years ago, because this is where your nightmare will finally come to an end, Jiren says. Then so prepare yourself, for this is where our fated story finally comes to an end, and just like it was when you had went and slaughtered my friends and my family, I too will now go on to ensure that there will be no mercy, as there will be no escape and no second chances given, for you had went and had ultimately brought this down upon yourself the very moment when you had went and forced me to go and watch as you picked apart and ripped away at everyone that I had once cared about. For I just want you to go and simply know that this isn't vengeance, Demon, this is justice, Jiren says. Then so now go right ahead and take a very good hard look at what is standing right in front of you, because this is going to be the last face, along with having this be the final time that you will ever get to go and plague this universe ever again. To which it was only explosively enough within this very moment now, as Jiren had created and gone as far as to unleash a massive supernova that went as far as to swallow Kodos whole. It was only with the other Pride Troopers having to oversee this from a distance as Jiren went on to finally vanquish and destroy Kodos.
I mean, that's fucked up, though. Your homeboy over there, and then the next thing you know, you just look back because you over here putting in work catching your bodies, too. You see this big-ass blast, knowing that Jiren's a tall motherfucker, and he kind of, he look big, so, you know what I'm saying? He about Broly height. You see what I'm saying? With the bald head, you know what I mean? So, you know that blast is huge, because just look at the skeleton. He way down here, and the blast is way up there. So, you already know. And this is a panned out shot of him. So, yeah, I don't think Kodos is coming back. Missing one bad guy. He got 106 in parked. That's how you park somebody, though. I like that right there. Let's see where we going.
Was when Dispo went on to then quickly chime in. Whoa, what in the world? Incredible. Just look at the size of that thing out there now, will ya? Well, he did it. ads, as I couldn't be any more proud in having to watch Jiren finally get the closure that he's been looking for ever since he was a child. As now that he has, I can only hope that you are finally at peace within, Jiren. To which, as Belmont went on to then oversee this himself, was when Belmont then went on to quickly chime in. Yes, that's the way, as I'll have to go ahead and admit that even for someone as intuitive as myself, Belmont says, what?
But y'all already know my guy's changed up. He's basically making his own Super Saturdays all over again because he's been dropping his YouTube videos on Saturday, which that's when Super needs to be available. Because, you know, if you ain't got, well, if you got a job, you should be off on Saturdays. And if you ain't off on Saturdays, what better to do fucking off listening to this at work? But anyways, you know, boss just gonna be mad. Nah, Alex just dropped this Saturday, unless you over on the Patreon, because you already getting the Patreon drops. Shout out to the Patreon drops, because those are precious. You know, he's ahead on work. He has his work done and posted to Patreon. So when it comes to YouTube, you know, the people that are, you know, supporting have already had a chance to really support. You dig? They get to watch it first. But I ain't gonna talk about that type of stuff because I ain't ahead of the game. I'm just a review channel. Hell, and once I start putting something out that's worth doing like that, I'll have it available before it's over on YouTube, over on Buy Me a Coffee, because that's where we do ours. We don't use Patreon because Patreon is Patreoning right now. But the way my Buy Me a Coffee set up, I got the link in the description, so you know that. You dig? We almost there. We got another 7 minutes.
Watching Jiren become the very storm that had once consumed him is almost poetic in a way, to know that the very demon who once sought out to destroy Jiren's soul as a child had ultimately fallen victim to that very same soul in the end, Belmont says, as you did what you had to do, and because you did, you have my highest praise along with my utmost respect, Jiren, for we had always known that your day would come, and upon us here today, that very day is Jiren, and so well done. And what a beating that was on top of such a powerful attack to go and close things off too, and so very good, Jiren, very good indeed. With Topo then having to quickly chime in, Jiren, my friend, I am so very proud of you, as I can only go and hope that you were finally able to find peace through closure for the nightmare that had plagued you ever since you were just a little boy, has at long last finally now come to an end. To which, as Ultra Instinct Jiren was then beginning to remember his clan parents alongside Master Gichen, was when Jiren then went on to say to himself, thank you for everything that you have done to help mold me into the warrior and the person that I am today, Master Gichen. And while I know that I was never able to truly ever say goodbye, Jiren adds, I can only hope that this very moment in time was as loud and as clear as it could possibly be, in having this be the day where I can finally say goodbye for good to all of you, Jiren says. And while there is still much that needs to go and be done while we are all still here, Jiren continues, I pray with a humility that I rarely ever allow for myself to express on the surface, that your souls, wherever they may be, can now find eternal rest, and having to know that the torment of their final moments and their injustice of their passing can now finally be brought to an end. But then, it was only within these very moments now from out of nowhere, as Angel Margarita had then gone as far as to make her presence known, was when Margarita went on to address the Pride Troopers by then responding, "Oh, well, there you all are, as I've been wondering as to where you had all went after I had left you, but now that I have found you all," Margarita adds, "I will hereby need for all of you to go and listen very carefully to what I'm about to go and tell you all, for the very message that I come bearing is a matter of absolute importance, and so do try your best to follow," Margarita adds, as it is a directive from Whis himself that had passed down onto all of us through the angelic conduit that we have all held earlier, for the very order that was given to us was to have all of the remaining angels across the multiverse anchor their posts in defending their universes, no matter the cost, in not having to go and leave them behind, Margarita says, as we are to stay and protect our universe from any and all invading members of the demon realm, no matter what, which was a direct order that Whis had went and given onto us, Margarita says, just before his energy signature was completely shown and having to vanish. But to go and make matters even more interesting than what they already are, it was brought to my attention just a few moments ago that the other angels had confirmed the presence of the Omni Kings, Margarita says, for their very energy signatures had appeared simultaneously across several quadrants of the multiverse, which only now means that they are no longer confined within the sealed barrier that was placed over their palace, but instead are now finally free. To which, if in fact this proves to be true, and in fact the Omni Kings are now set to be free, then so is everything else that was once trapped alongside them, which could only mean that they are both now on the move and more than likely looking for the whereabouts of the Grand Minister. And so while we are all here and all together, we are to remain within Universe 11 and defend it from the demon realm no matter the cause until we are given the
Shouts out to Margarita. You know, they had to bring Whis' sister in. You know, she's a baddie, as they say. Quick calling, you know, Super Saturdays. I don't know why they be calling me like I ain't busy. Hell, it's always a hater gotta call me when I'm busy. But anyways, phone don't ring outside of when I'm busy. So it is appropriate time for y'all to be calling me, you motherfuckers dope. But then whenever I'm busy, y'all motherfuckers want to call me. Yeah, we know how that goes. They natural haters. You got to keep them working, though, 24/7, like we said when bro was here. You know how we do, though. Anyways, back to what you talking about. Yeah, Zeno's up and about, at least. Because, you know, he was stuck in the net.
to go and do otherwise. And while I'm unsure of what is going to go and come from all of this, if Whis and his universe aren't successful enough in going to do anything to stop or slow any of this down, one thing that I am in fact actually very sure of is now that the Omni Kings have been set free, Margarita continues, it'll only be a matter of time now before they go and decide to take action against those demons, which we could only hope won't end up resulting in the complete and utter destruction of everything as we know it. To which it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 44 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. Because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that although I haven't personally had the chance to witness Jiren use the power of his Ultra Instinct since the days of when we had battled against my brother Murno, I am extremely glad to see that we are starting to create a bit of change while we're out here against these demons. But even while with Universe 11 now hunkering down and having them remain within their universe by orders of commanding them to defend it until their very last breath, we must hurry and continue to push back if we hope to create a greater change with this conflict while we're out here. And because of this, you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, and before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal and Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content.
Nah. We still got more videos to do. But you know, we gotta stop and check bro's comments, because this video went nuts. Let's see what the people talking about, because, you know, that's the good thing about this being put out last Saturday. We actually get to look at the comments a little bit, see what's cracking over here. Get the next manga chapters. Yeah, we already know that. Go to the Patreon, get ahead of the game. If y'all don't like me doing a review, you can do one before I do, because that's how we do. Super Saturdays in this piece, that's how we do. Hey Alex, not gonna lie, there's something poetic and yeah, just seeing that shit. Yeah. Kodos sounded like Frieza begging Vegeta not to. The dialogue has been too much lately. Of course, you can't get, everybody ain't gonna like how you write the story, but the dialogue is one of those things that you can use to explain things Or you just use dialogue because it's actually how that person or the character should be talking at that point in time. It lets you know the insight of the character. So if you don't like those long dialogue blogs, I've already said something about those type of people because they do what they gonna do regardless. You see what I'm saying? You don't worry about that. Oh, too much dialogue. Yeah, it's not his fault that you're used to Toriyama not giving enough dialogue because that's not what Toriyama did. Toriyama was a troll, so he didn't actually like to write things out and be smart on his planning because it was Dragon Ball. He just wanted to be funny. Mm, mm. The source behind all of your pain, the inflection power. Yep, and Jiren got that in. Uh, who would you be without me, Jiren? I'm still gonna be the shit with or without you, bucko. Hell, I was already training to be better. That's why I already had a master. Hell, I was already on the path to being something. No matter what it was, now it's just the person that had to body you. Shout out to catching them bodies. So, anyways, anywho, anywho, uh, let me see. Let me see. Go back to the big screen. Yeah, see, that's that nice elbow. Go ahead, screenshot him for me. Yeah, it's the type of time. Shout out to Never.
A lot of people say that Neva has pretty broken magic, but I don't think that's actually true. He was able to activate the Dragon Balls early, but don't forget Kami was also able to do the same, choosing to activate the Dragon Balls early for Goku to revive his friends back in early Dragon Ball. He was also able to draw the Dragon Ball towards him pretty easily, but you have to remember Neva isn't your basic Namekian found on planet Namek. Rather, he's the last surviving Namekian from their origin in the Demon Realm. That's why he knew Piccolo's father Katats was able to create warriors stronger than the legendary Super Saiyan and even boost Goku's power beyond its limits. All of this making him better than every Namekian by default and even more so than Grand Elder Guru.
And of course, there was that part 2 that I did find for this. Let's see where
Hey
he
guys,
goes.
what's going on? This is Tyler and we are back with another Dragon Ball What If video. And today I am bringing you a continuation / part 2 of What If Future Vegeta Survived. Now in the last part we have Future Vegeta bodying Mecha Frieza and King Cold, fighting Goku for the first time in 13 years, and giving him the heart medicine. And so we are going to be getting into the Android Saga. Future Trunks does want to come along on the ride, however, Future Vegeta just isn't having it because he feels like it is completely unsafe for Future Bulma. However, Future Bulma would just make the argument saying the androids would never come over here, and even if they do, they're going to be hiding in a shelter, and they'll be completely safe. They'll be fine. Not to mention how Future Trunks deserves to know what his past history was, or her past history, and Future Trunks really is curious about.
See, because this is one thing he ain't explained. How the hell they done went like 15, damn near 20 years into the future? Vegeta ain't beat these damn androids. Why would you keep Vegeta alive just to hoe him out? See, you hoeing him out too. That's bad story writing. Not just because I'm a Vegeta fan. But hell, you got Vegeta, Bulma, and Trunks. And then they had Gohan at the start of this. So, just with that team alone right there, okay, this easy, quick, fast training arc. You and Gohan go in here, get you some 100 times gravity training in, make sure the kid goes Super Saiyan. Boom. Because just training alongside Vegeta would have amped up Gohan off the bat. Because, well, hold on. Gohan used to fighting a little bit, but he trained with Piccolo, but not no heavy, intense type of, nah, we gonna just build up raw power with Vegeta, because that's what Vegeta was used to having. He's like, nah, I've like always been raw with the power. So if I am being outclassed, that means I just need to go do some harder training, because guess what? Ain't nobody stronger than me. I'm Prince of all fucking Force. Well, now it's just him and his son, the royal bloodline. The bloodline.
about it. And Future Trunks should know what it feels like to live in a peaceful timeline, in a timeline where everything isn't completely corrupted. Future Trunks deserves something nice for once in his life, because his entire life was just completely shit. And so you guys voted on the community post if Future Trunks or Future Bulma convinced Future Vegeta, and so it actually does convince Future Vegeta. And so Future Trunks is going to be coming along with Future Vegeta to the past. In our present timeline, everything would pretty much end up the same up until the Dr. Gero hunt. Vegeta would still kill Android 19, Goku would succumb to the heart virus, Yamcha would take Goku to Chi-Chi's house, blah blah blah. That would happen as per normal. Everything would start to change right up until Future Vegeta and Future Trunks come into the past, with obvious changes such as Future Vegeta actually being in this situation. Just like how Trunks found Android 19's head, Trunks would find Android 19's head along with Future Vegeta looking at this head, and they are confused to see what this is. But for now, they ignore it and head out to where the Z-Fighters are at by sensing their power. In the original, Dr. Gero shot down Bulma's ship where Yajirobe and Baby Trunks were in it. Instead of Future Trunks saving him this time, it is Future Vegeta. Piccolo would kick Dr. Gero in the face, and Dr. Gero would just retreat. And as this happens, we see Future Vegeta basically pissed off at President Bulma for doing such a stupid action. What is wrong with you, woman? You could have gotten our baby killed. What do you mean, our baby? Basically, Future Vegeta exposed himself, and he would then reveal to everyone that he is from the future. Along with Future Trunks revealing that he is Bulma's son, and that he is also from the future. While everyone is surprised, Piccolo would then snap everyone back to focus, saying that one of the androids are going to get away. Future Vegeta would then say, "Wait, are you talking about that old man?" Piccolo would then say, "Yeah, the androids you told us to prepare for, remember?" Future Vegeta would then reveal that those are not his androids. President Vegeta would actually be a little bit pissed off and say, "What do you mean those are not your androids?" Future Trunks would then say, "Our androids are a teenage boy and a teenage girl, one with blonde hair and one with black hair." President Vegeta would then snap on Future Vegeta. "You mean to tell me you can't even beat two teenagers? My god, for someone who's my future counterpart, you are quite pathetic." Future Vegeta would then say how these androids are a lot stronger than you think, so he should probably sit down because he does not know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so he technically trolled this whole story just to set up that one joke between Vegetas, which is kind of funny. I mean, it's trolling. You have to appreciate the troll mannerisms to understand Dragon Ball. So that this makes this story make sense, because that's exactly what Vegeta would say. You didn't spend all this time fighting these motherfuckers and they teenagers, nigga. This Vegeta is probably stronger than this one at this point, based upon what he just heard. Like, nah, when you told me to lock in and train, I did. You know, shout out to Capsule Corp. You did Capsule Corp 2025. It's a real thing. Yeah. Oh, man, that's
Future Vegeta would make a comment to himself saying how, wow, I guess 13 years of pure hell can actually make someone mature. Because my god, 13 years ago, I was such a bitch. Past Vegeta would then rush at Future Vegeta with the punch. However, Future Vegeta easily blocks it. Both Vegetas are ready to duke it out. However, Piccolo immediately interrupts the both of them. "Would you guys stop? We need to work together. This android isn't even a big threat right now. However, he could potentially become a bigger threat, but we are all here bickering like children. Stop it. Let's work together." Both Vegetas stop and they both say, "Fine, we'll deal with this after the android is dealt with." Future Vegeta and the other Z-Fighters are trying to find Dr. Gero, but like in the original, they just can't detect his power level, and Dr. Gero is being very sneaky. And so Future Vegeta is losing his patience very fast, and he tells everyone to fly up into the sky, because he's gonna do something. Everyone begins to fly up into the sky, except for past Vegeta, since he's ignoring his future counterpart at this point. Future Vegeta would then go into his Super Saiyan state and fire a Big Bang attack at the entire wasteland. Dr. Gero's cover is blown, and so he decides to use all of his energy and might to head to his lab as fast as possible. The Z-Fighters are able to detect Dr. Gero and immediately head down to where he is at. However, Dr. Gero is able to get into his lab in time and activate 17, 18, and 16. When he activates all three of them, Future Vegeta blows up the door that is covering Dr. Gero's lab. When the smoke clears, 17, 18, and 16 are revealed. Future Vegeta and Future Trunks would be completely paralyzed in fear. However, they would both snap out of it and get ready for the battle. Future Vegeta would then tell Piccolo and the other Z Fighters that those are his androids, the ones that killed everyone, including Gohan, Future Vegeta's protege. Piccolo would then say, "You mentioned how there were only 2 androids, right? What is the tall one behind those 2? Future Vegeta would then say, "We don't know. It must be another android. Another one to destroy." And so, like in the original timeline, Android 17 would kill Dr. Gero, and then 17 and 18 would...
But originally, they only wrote in Android 16 because since Goku was a change in the future, then they had to plan for Goku being there. Okay, you know, Goku gonna probably be able to watch these 2 because his son Goku. But this guy who wasn't playing for it would have been able to watch Goku because he wasn't playing for it. So, you know, I mean, it's a good chess game. You see what I'm saying? You got moves that affect both sides. Vegeta came back and cheated, let Goku live. Then what happened? Now there's 16 to counteract Goku being alive. So even when you get the fuck up, you get knocked the fuck back out anyways. You might be stronger than this guy, but you ain't gonna beat this guy. But the good thing is hold on, Future Vegeta should have just said, "Nigga, I'll fuse with you because I'm not that immature little brat. We need these motherfuckers beat, so let's do that Patara shit that you was talking about, or because, you know, Goku, hold on, is he dead right now? Nah, he was alive, but he hadn't died yet, so he don't know fusion. But, you know, there was no fusion at this part. That's the bad point about it. Or was, when are they gonna try to say that he had fusion? It was mostly Majin Buu when he showed the kids how to do it. But, you know, movie fillers and all that shit, there was some type of fusion he could have did. Hell, he might have just said, well, we're gonna have to fight together and then just tag team and work together to defeat everybody anyways. But, you know, that final Kamehameha in this bitch.
begin to fight the Z Fighters. Past Vegeta would challenge the androids first, and like in the original, 18 and Vegeta would begin to battle. When past Vegeta's arm breaks, no one is actually going to intervene. Future Vegeta doesn't really care for his past counterpart, along with Trunks not really caring for him either. Instead, what happens is 18 would spare past Vegeta for the sake of future entertainment. Like in the original, past Vegeta would head onto the mountains in his own isolation due to him losing to 18 pretty hard. Piccolo would then reveal to Future Vegeta his plan, which is to fuse with Kami. Future Vegeta would actually go with Piccolo because he believes that he should help Piccolo convince Kami to fuse. Like in the original, Piccolo and Kami would fuse, and so Piccolo would sense the power levels dropping down in Ginger Town, which is in Perfect Cell, and Piccolo goes down to investigate. He tells Future Vegeta that he would only get in the way, and that he should probably relax for now. Everything with Piccolo beating up in Perfect Cell, and in Perfect Cell giving away his whole plan, and in Perfect Cell retreating, Goku waking up, and he would sense Future Vegeta's power level, and so he would head out to the lookout to go and talk to him. However, before he does that, he recruits past Vegeta, Gohan, and Future Trunks to go to the lookout, and so they can all make a plan and try and get stronger. And so, what would happen is, like in the original timeline, they would all get ready to go into the hyperbolic time chamber. And so, they're mostly bickering on who should go first. And I think it would be a very cool idea, and I believe this would actually make the most sense if Future Vegeta would actually go into the time chamber with past Vegeta. Reason why I think this would make the most sense is because past Vegeta and Future Vegeta both have a connection with each other. Past Vegeta wants to get revenge for Android 18 humiliating him, and Future Vegeta wants to go and avenge Gohan's death and basically avenge his entire timeline. And so, both of them have a connection in a sense. They both want to get back at these androids for what they did to them. And so, both Vegetas have the intention to surpass Super Saiyan and get even more powerful than what they were before they went into the chamber. Piccolo and 17 would have their battle, with 17 actually winning slowly on because he has infinite energy. However, both of them would be interrupted by Imperfect Cell. Imperfect Cell would body Piccolo, then absorb 17. Semi-Perfect Cell would be born, along with Tien trying to do his Neo Tri-Beam. However, that doesn't work out. Goku would save Piccolo and Tien. And so everything would happen the same up until future Vegeta and past Vegeta arrive outside the chamber. Now the question is, what are they doing inside the chamber? Well, like what future Trunks and past Vegeta did, they are both trying to unlock and surpass Super Saiyan. However, when they unlock Super Saiyan Grade 2, they unlock it even earlier than what future Trunks and past Vegeta did in the original timeline. However, future Vegeta would then remark to past Vegeta how this power, it's so incredible, however it drains so much, and that they need a form that surpasses this form. Future Vegeta would then alert this to past Vegeta, and so they are trying to discover a form that surpasses Grade 2, which is basically Super Saiyan Grade 4. This is where we're going to be leaving things for now. However, I'm going to be leaving a poll up on my community tab, so be sure to vote. Do future Vegeta and past Vegeta, when emerging from the time chamber, unlock full power Super Saiyan, or do they just unlock Super Saiyan Grade 2? Remember, your vote can drastically change the story, so be sure to think about it. With that being said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I'm trying to hit 4K by next week. I know it's a crazy goal, but I know we can hit it. We just, hit 3.7K within, a couple hours of having, 3.6K? That's ridiculous. I appreciate your guys' support, and I really do thank you guys. You know, I wouldn't be really doing these videos without your guys' support. And if you guys want more part 2 what-ifs, like what if Goku crashed onto Supreme Kai Planet after Namek, I'm going to be working on that next, along with what if Shallot was canon part 3, along with a power scaling video on Kid Buu. And be sure to join the Discord if you want to suggest me what ifs and just overall interact with me and other people, such as, Isk, he is my good friend as well. So be sure to join. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get up out of here. Peace out.
You're making a big mistake. Where do you think you're going? Pity, what a waste of talent. Not today, back off. Have it your way. A tough guy like you should be able to face the truth.
Are you okay?
Who is the strongest villain in the Dragon Ball series? That's another topic that could be debated for days. But today we're going to look at their fight records to decide who, on paper, is the strongest. But before we get into that, if you saw my last video going over the Z Fighters record, you'll see that the scoring system wasn't super well thought out, and there were a couple battle outcomes that were wrong and a couple battles missing. And honestly, I had no clue it would blow up like that, so I didn't put as much effort into the rules as I probably should have. But that changes right now. I brought in 3 people to be my counsel to help me decide on a new scoring system and help me decide on some of the battle outcomes. So now if you disagree, you're not just disagreeing with me, you're disagreeing with all 4 of us. And one of us is a math teacher. So first off, we're going to go over what constitutes a fight. We decided if it happens on screen during a non-filler anime episode, then it counts as a fight, as long as each fighter uses at least 2 attacks. We decided that any less than this would just be more of a victim than an opponent. This is Raz after the fact. I just don't consider GT to be canon. I'm sorry, GT fans, it's just when Super came out, GT stopped being canon. Sorry. That brings us to deciding when a fight ends. We decided that a fight ends when one of the combatants is either unable to battle, dies, gets a ring out in a tournament, runs away, or forfeits. What would constitute a draw being the outcome to a fight would be if both fighters are either unable to battle, die, or both agree to stop, as well as if there's an external interruption then that makes the fight end prematurely. Now moving on to the point system. For a solo win, you get 1 point. If the solo win was assisted, they will give 0.15 points to the people who assisted him, making that solo win worth 0.85 in that case. A duo win will give each fighter a half a point, while a team win will take the 1 point and split it amongst the fighters evenly. As far as wins go, we've added a special condition where every extra opponent the fighter takes on in the same battle will earn them a quarter of a point each. For example, when Trunks went back to the future and killed Android 17 and 18, he would get 1 1/4 point because he took on 2 opponents. And for the sake of not counting every single fodder character as a quarter of a point, I decided to group up armies together as just a single opponent. The Red Ribbon Army on Roshi's Island, that's 1 opponent. You get the point. We were going back and forth if we should make draws worth anything, and we just decided to throw him 1/10 of a point just cause. Just to quickly address some of the outcomes from last video, I did add Pui Pui versus Vegeta, as well as the Namekian Village versus Vegeta, and of course he won both of those, as well as Vegeta versus Frost. I don't know how I missed that one. With the new guidelines, a lot of the battles aren't split up anymore, so Gohan does get his 1 single win against Cell, but he gets 0.85 for it because Vegeta and Goku did assist him in that battle, so they are sharing their 0.15. I understand the argument of Gohan versus Dabura, but according to the rules, we're counting Dabura as running away, so we are keeping Gohan's win right there. And as far as Gohan versus Super Buu, no one runs away or is unable to battle until Buu Tanks comes around and kicks Gohan's ass, so that is 1 loss. I went over the rest of the battles for the Z Fighters with this lens, but here's the new overall scoreboard. Piccolo and Gohan shot up above Krillin, too bad for that guy, as well as Goten being dropped down, even worse than Chaozu, unfortunate. And now with the percentages, there is a big spike in Vegeta's percentage, and he takes that 2nd place spot from Goku, but no one is taking Roshi's spot at number 1. That man is the GOAT. With the new 2 attack rule, we had to take away a lot of Roshi's wins, a lot of Yamcha's wins, which is why he's all the way down there, but no one's taking Roshi's spot at the top, no matter how many wins you take away from him. He's the fucking GOAT, okay? Let's just get that clear. Sorry, Yamcha and Krillin fans, this update really didn't help you guys out. Now that we're done with all of that, we can finally get to the point of this video and get to the villains. Instead of doing each individual character, we're going to go through all of the eligible battles in chronological order, and then we're going to see all of the information at the end. And for this video, we are going to be including King Piccolo, Frieza, Android 17, Android 18, Cell, Majin Buu, Beerus, Frost, Hit, Goku Black, Dispo, Toppo, and Jiren. So let's get into it. OG Dragon Ball, we have King Piccolo beating Master Mutaito. Second up, we have King Piccolo and Master Mutaito rematch, where Mutaito traps King Piccolo in the evil containment wave, killing himself in the process, making it a draw because they're both unable to battle. Then we have King Piccolo versus Goku match 1, where he defeats him swiftly. Then we have King Piccolo versus Master Roshi, breaking my rules a little bit because Roshi only attacks once, but his one attack is the evil containment wave, so I decided to count it because it was his ultimate move, I guess. Anyways, King Piccolo wins this fight. Next up, he beats all of the King's guards, and then ultimately he loses to Goku with a small assist from Tien. In Dragon Ball Z, we have Frieza taking down King Vegeta and the Saiyan army with an assist from his own army. Frieza takes down Bardock with an assist from his army. Frieza defeats Nail. Frieza defeats Piccolo, Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin, earning him 0.75 extra points for this one battle. Frieza loses to Goku with a slight assist from Piccolo. And then Frieza, his soldiers, and King Cold all lose to Future Trunks. Android 17 easily kills Dr. Gero. Android 17 and 18 beat Vegeta and then the rest of the Z fighters when they come in to assist. I'm giving this win mostly to Android 18, and then I'm giving 17 the assist. Cell versus Piccolo. This is another outcome I modified from the last video. I gave the win to Piccolo because Cell did run away. Then 17 and Piccolo fight to a draw. Cell fights Android 17, Piccolo, Android 16, and Tien, beating all of them, earning himself 0.75 extra points from this one battle. Next up, we have Cell versus Vegeta. I'm counting as Cell losing because Vegeta was beating him so bad that he had to join his team to help him out. Which brings us to our next fight, Cell and Vegeta taking down Android 18, Future Trunks, Android 16, and Krillin. Then we have the Cell versus Vegeta rematch where Cell easily wins. Cell then takes on Future Trunks and wins again. Then Cell beats Goku at the Cell Games. And finally, his reign of terror comes to an end when him and the Cell Juniors are beaten by Gohan with the assist of Vegeta and Goku. Moving forward a couple years after the time skip, we're at the tournament and Android 18 beats Mighty Mask, but then loses to Hercule. Yeah, she lost on purpose, but it's still a loss, man. After that, Majin Buu joins the scene and beats Supreme Kai and Gohan. Majin Buu wins against Dabura. Majin Buu wins against Majin Vegeta. Majin Buu wins against Goku. Majin Buu wins against Gotenks. Super Buu wins against Gotenks with the Piccolo assist. And then Buu-Tanks wins against Gohan with the Tien assist. Finally, someone puts him in his place when Buuhan loses to Vegito. This is another one of the updated fight outcomes. It was debated pretty heavily, but we're giving the win to Vegito. And then the last villain battle in Dragon Ball Z, Kid Buu loses to Goku, Vegeta, Hercule, and Good Buu. To make things less complicated, I'm just counting this as one loss and not like a loss with an assist win. It's just too complicated. Jumping right into Dragon Ball Super with Beerus beating Goku. Beerus then beats pretty much every Z fighter. It's Android 18, Gohan, Buu, Vegeta, Piccolo, Goten, Kid Trunks, and Tien, earning him an impressive 1.75 extra points, and then Beerus beats Goku again. Frieza's back and he beats Gohan and Piccolo with the assist from Ginyu, and then Frieza loses when Goku and Vegeta show up on the scene. Beerus and Champa fight to a draw, and now going into the Universe 6 tournament, I know some people disagree, including the referee of the tournament inside the universe, but I'm giving Frost the win against Goku and Piccolo. Yes, they said no weapons or whatever, but it's part of his body. Why is he unable to use part of his body? And why doesn't he use it in the Tournament of Power either? When the people with wings are allowed to fly, why is he unable to use his natural weapon? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And I guarantee the fucking referee in the show only disqualified Frost because Beerus was making a fucking shit show about it. So I'm giving Frost these 2 points because they're the only fucking 2 points he gets in the entire fucking show. So with that out of the way, Frost wins against Goku, Frost wins against Piccolo, Frost loses against Vegeta. Then Hit comes in and beats Vegeta, and he beats Goku. Some of you guys were saying Goku won this battle. Goku literally jumps out of the ring and forfeits the battle. I don't know what you're talking about. And then Hit loses to Monaka. Monaka 100% win rate, gang. Getting into one of the most convoluted sagas in the entire show, Goku Black wins against Future Trunks and Mai. Then Goku Black fights Goku to a draw. Then on the first trip to the future, Goku Black and Zamasu beat Goku, Future Trunks, and Vegeta. On the second trip, Goku Black and Zamasu beat Goku, Future Trunks, and Vegeta. Goku Black and Zamasu beat Future Trunks and Mai. And then in the final battle, Goku Black and Zamasu lose to Goku, Vegeta, Future Trunks, and Zeno. Goku hires Hit to assassinate him and they fight to a draw. Majin Buu wins against Basil, Toppo and Goku fight to a draw. Majin Buu wins against Goku. Android 17 wins against the Poachers. Android 17 and Goku fight to a draw. Android 17 and Goku beat the Galactic Poachers. Dispo, Toppo, and Casseral team up to beat 2 aliens, Adorakian and Aragni. I don't know. Goku and Frieza beat the Assassins. Goku and Frieza fight to a draw. Now into the Tournament of Power, the final stretch. Android 18 and Krillin team up to beat Shosa. Android 18 assists Krillin to beat Majora. Hit wins against Narirama with the assistance of Basil. Jiren's the only one who's able to take out Kale. I'm giving Goku assist points for this because he was fighting her the whole time before that. Android 17, 18, Goku, Caulifla, and Kale team up to beat Casseral, Tupper, Zwar, Kakat, and Kettle. Android 17 beats Kakunsa and Bakal. Android 17 and Goku beat Reaper Ann and Rosie. Goku and Hit beat Dispo and Kinchi. Jiren takes out Magicayo with very little assistance from Dispo. Frost and Vegeta lost against Vegeta and Roshi. Frieza beat Jimizu with the assistance of Gohan. Frieza beat Frost with the assistance of Gohan. Jiren beat Goku. Jiren beat Hit. Frieza beat Kaba. Android 17, 18, and Goku beat Reaper Ann and Rosie. Goku and Android 17 beat Daman. Android 17 and 18 beat Biara. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Frieza, Android 17, and Android 18 all team up to beat a fused transformation named Agni Lhasa. Frieza and Gohan team up to beat Dispo. Toppo fights Android 17, Frieza, and Gohan to a draw. Toppo loses to Vegeta. Jiren beats Frieza, Android 17, Goku, and Vegeta. I'm splitting up the last battle against Jiren into 2. The first battle ending when Vegeta gets out. Every single fighter is unable to battle until Vegeta gives the last of his energy to Goku, so I'm counting that as a Jiren win. And the second battle is the rest of the match where Jiren loses to Frieza, Android 17, and Goku. And last but not least, Frieza got his ass whooped by Broly in Dragon Ball Super Broly. Tallying up all of our points, we see Majin Buu sitting proudly at the top, Frieza begrudgingly at second place, and Android 17, a guy you always want on your side in a battle. Toppo and Dispo might as well have not even been on the list with how pathetic that score is. Now shifting on over to the win percentages, we see Beerus breaking the scale with 121%. Truly a god of destruction can even destroy the scale. Sitting comfortably right below him, we have Jiren, and in third place we have Majin Buu. Seeing Buu in the top 3 on both of these is definitely a good sign of him being your top pick as a fighter. Frieza dropped all the way down to 6th place in the percentages, a true perfect example of quit while you're ahead. He could have been like Cell up there in 4th place. Android 17 also sank pretty low in this category, but that's because most of his wins were team-ups, I believe. But if you shift over to the loss percentage, you see Android 17 is your guy because he barely ever loses. Of course, Beerus never loses, but he's never going to want to fight with you, so 17 is going to be your guy. And now you can see why I was fighting for Frost to win so bad. This dude is abysmal. What are you going to do about it? And now the even more fun part, we can mash both of the lists together. Here we can see everyone placed on the scoreboard. Clearly no one's taken Goku or Vegeta's spot, but Piccolo being higher than Majin Buu is pretty impressive, honestly. And then we shift over to percentages, and we see the villains taking over the leaderboard. Frieza beating out Goku Black and Goku is honestly a little bit satisfying here, especially because he's still right below Vegeta. Frieza should never be above Vegeta after the fucking disrespect he gave him on Namek, honestly. And of course, last but not least, everybody's losing record. I just wanted to thank everybody for watching this video. I put a decent amount of research into this one, way more than the last one, so I'm hoping that shows through to you guys watching this. I said it earlier in the recording, I'm not sure if I kept it in or not, but I never thought that I would get 100,000 views on a video. I never thought I would get 10,000 views on a video, so that is absolutely crazy. I am planning on doing more fight records for other series, so once again, if you have any requests, please leave them down in the comments. I have 1 or 2 lined up, but I would really love to know what you guys would like to see. But yeah, just thank you again. See ya.
What if Gohan trained with Beerus? Imagine this. Gohan, the once reluctant warrior, finally embraces his full potential by training with none other than Beerus, the god of destruction. Thanks to Goku and Vegeta, Gohan could make his way to Beerus's planet, joining his father and Vegeta in the ultimate training ground to unlock the true depths of his beast form. This could reignite Gohan's passion for fighting, pushing him to train like never before. Beerus would be the perfect mentor for Gohan. Why? Gohan's hidden power, fueled by his controlled rage, makes him an ideal candidate to channel Hakai energy, which thrives on destruction and instinct. While Gohan might struggle with the calm needed for Whis' angelic techniques, Beerus could guide him to master Ultra Ego, similar to Vegeta, but in his own unique way. With Beerus' training, Gohan Beast Form could evolve even further. If Beast Gohan is already a match or superior to Goku's Ultra Instinct, an Ultra Ego-infused Gohan could rival even Beerus himself. His power would grow exponentially, fueled by his Saiyan rage, surpassing limits like never before. At this level, not even Broly would stand a chance. This new godly power could make Gohan the ultimate secret weapon, the ace in the hole needed to take down Black Frieza in the final battle. Could you imagine the shock on Frieza's face? That would be a fight for the ages.
Shouts out to that big homie. Appreciate this beat.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the morning light. Remember me when you're far away. place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle